I'm Luna Smith, 32 years old. My husband, Luke, is 28 and 4 years younger than me. We got married last year after a workplace romance. My husband is a junior member in the office. When we first met, he had just joined our company, and he seemed a bit young and inexperienced. He wasn't even my romantic interest in the beginning. However, everything changed the day I came to the office with puffy, teary eyes from breaking up with my previous boyfriend. My husband went out of his way to take care of me and showed me kindness and masculine side that I hadn't noticed before. For example, he bought me coffee, attended meetings on behalf of me, and showed me kindness and masculine side that I hadn't noticed before. From there, our relationship developed quickly, and we got married after about a year of dating. The reason I fell in love with my husband is because he is considerate and full of empathy. But as in any relationship, there are many different sides to a person. Today is Sunday, meaning we can enjoy the day off together as a married couple. However, there's a significant issue with an unexpected third party. Her name is Nora Brown, 26 years old, and she happens to be my husband's childhood friend. My husband and Nora grew up as next-door neighbors since their parents' houses were right next to each other. They had a close, family-like relationship, visiting each other's homes since they were children. It seems like Nora intends to maintain that same level of closeness, as she frequently shows up at our apartment. Our apartment is in my father-in-law's name, but my husband and I are responsible for paying the mortgage. Perhaps because of this, Nora shows up at our apartment unexpectedly as if it's completely natural. Nora is also married and lives near her parents' place, but it seems her husband often works late and Nora comes to our apartment about twice a week. Today is Sunday, and you'd think her husband has a day off, yet she still comes over to our place. I can't help but wonder if Nora thinks that I've stolen her childhood friend from her. She frequently shares childhood stories with my husband in front of me. Luke, do you remember when we went on that summer vacation together during middle school? I recently found the bracelet we bought as a souvenir from that trip in my room's desk drawer. Oh, the one we got at the hotel's gift shop, right? I really liked it for some reason, and I've been wearing it ever since. Remember how we got scolded for wearing jewelry to school? But it's as if they're deliberately sharing their memories in front of me so that they can exclude from me their conversation. Nora maintains an oblivious expression when she talks like this, and during these moments, I try not to look at them by turning myself away. It seems like Nora is constantly bringing up stories from the past, such as how their gym clothes looked in elementary school, tales of playing together at the nearby park, and anecdotes about my husband helping her with summer homework. It's as if she's trying to emphasize that she knows my husband better than anyone else. I finally couldn't help but ask my husband about it. I don't mind Nora coming over to hang out, but isn't it a bit too frequent? Don't you think her husband might be getting concerned? I asked. My husband replied, no, that's just how Nora has always been. She used to come over to our family home all the time, and there was even a period when she visited every day. You don't need to worry. Even though I was told not to worry, I couldn't help but feel concerned. My husband prioritized Nora in various situations. One day, while Nora was over for a casual visit, she noticed the cosmetics I had on the bathroom vanity. Among them was a facial lotion that cost more than 10,000 yen. I had bought it with my bonus, as I had been curious about it from the positive reviews, but had hesitated due to its high price. I had used the facial lotion for only 2 days, and Nora had her eye on it. From the bathroom, she asked my husband, Luke, can I have this facial lotion here? My husband responded, facial lotion? Sure, take as much as you want. Nora exclaimed, yay, I'm taking it. She has got to be kidding me. I had been eyeing that facial lotion for a while and finally decided to buy it. I couldn't believe Nora was taking it. I whispered complaint to my husband, making sure Nora couldn't hear. "Hey, why did you just give my facial lotion to Nora without asking me?" He replied, "Come on, it's just a facial lotion. What's the big deal? It's fine to give it to Nora." I retorted, "That facial lotion is from a high-end brand and costs over 10,000 yen. I bought it just recently." He countered, "Well, then it's even better to give it to Nora." When I exclaimed, "What do you mean?" and started to speak up, Nora came over and asked, "What are you two whispering about?" My husband quickly defused the situation, saying, "It's nothing, Luna." That brought the conversation to an end. Frustrated, I decided to step out and said I was going shopping, heading to the convenience store. This kind of interaction happens quite often. Last month, it was my birthday, and we had plans to go out for a meal. But just as we were about to leave, Nora showed up at our place, and my husband casually asked, "Do you want to join us, Nora?" Inviting her along without a second thought. Why did Nora come along on my birthday instead of letting us be alone as a couple? And to make matters worse, my husband asked Nora, "Nora, what would you like to eat? Just tell me." While he didn't ask me at all what I wanted to eat, even though I was the one who should have been the center of attention. My birthday dinner ended up being about Nora, as we all had okonomiyaki, Nora's choice. I couldn't help but feel that this was incredibly unfair, and I even felt like crying. However, I couldn't complain to my husband in front of Nora, and decided to endure the uncomfortable situation. That night, I wanted to talk to my husband about what happened, so I said, "Can we talk?" He replied, "Can we talk later? I'm going to bed now," and headed to the bedroom. I became frustrated and said, "What? Wait a minute. Listen to me. It was my birthday today. Why did Nora come, and why did we have to eat what she wanted?" My husband responded, "Well, Nora just happened to be here. What's the big deal?" I argued, "But it's strange, isn't it? On your wife's birthday, you bring along your childhood friend, and we all go out together?" He replied, "When you married me, it meant accepting my relationship with Nora, my childhood friend. We practically grew up like a real family. Now, let me sleep." I felt like I was being baffled, and for my husband, Nora's presence was completely natural and that she was to be his priority all the time. I couldn't help but harbor a growing sense of frustration and confusion. My husband and I had been planning a trip to Guam for the summer. Given that I couldn't take too much time off work, I thought a 3-hour flight to Guam would be a great choice. I had also saved up a bit of money for the summer vacation. I was really looking forward to this trip with my husband. My husband had been showing an interest in diving ever since we watched a documentary about it on a rainy day a while back. He had been researching diving opportunities, and it seemed that Guam had some beautiful diving spots. We had watched the documentary together, and both of us were captivated by the tranquil and beautiful underwater world. I had repeatedly exclaimed, "Wow, it's so beautiful!" while watching. It was heartwarming to think that my husband remembered my enthusiasm for it. The idea of diving in Guam with my husband added an extra layer of excitement to our upcoming trip. Exactly 1 month before our trip to Guam, Nora got a divorce. On that day, just as I expected, she came to our place and talked about her divorce. My husband just said he wanted a divorce and left. He's 10 years older than me, but he acts like a spoiled child, thinking that having a job is enough. I just went to visit my friend whenever he said he may not come back home today because of work, but he accused me of cheating, and that's why we're getting divorced. Well, you know, Nora, your husband seemed like a stable and decent guy. Yeah, he was stable in some ways, but he was incredibly boring. In that case, it's a good thing you're getting a divorce. Hey, Luke, can you celebrate my birthday? I had a plan to go on a trip with my husband, but that's not happening now because of the divorce, Nora said. Nora's divorce? I had a sinking feeling about it, and unfortunately, my intuition was correct. When my husband returned from his parents' house, he suddenly announced, "Our trip to Guam is canceled. I'll use that as a birthday celebration for Nora." Hearing this, I couldn't help but think, I knew it, and felt like giving up on myself. This happened around the end of July. My husband's feelings were long gone from me, and I responded with a smile, saying, "Please, have a good time." I had asked my husband about his relationship with Nora several times, because I felt that they were taking their friendship too far for childhood friends. I had even directly inquired about it when I couldn't ignore how extremely close they seemed. I asked, "Are you dating Nora?" To which my husband replied, "Nora is just a childhood friend, there's nothing to be concerned about." My husband frequently prioritized Nora, and when I questioned him about it, he dismissed it as something entirely natural. However, there were moments when they exchanged secretive glances behind my back, which made me suspect that they had some kind of secret. Despite this, he was still my husband, so I struggled with the situation for a while. Eventually, I made the difficult decision to hire a private investigator to look into the matter. Yesterday, I received the results of that investigation, and the outcome was not in my favor. My husband and Nora were having an affair. The day after my husband told me our Guam trip was canceled, I went to work but left early, claiming I wasn't feeling well. With the results of the infidelity investigation, I went to confront both Luke's and Nora's parents. I was honestly quite scared about what both parents they might say. Would they admit their children's immorality and speak calmly? Or would they become emotional and blame me, making the situation worse? But above all, we had a solid evidence of the infidelity investigation results. I tightly clutched the envelope containing the documents. As I explained the sequence of events, both sets of parents were very surprised. After a moment of silence, my father-in-law said, "Luna, I'm very sorry for what our son did." First, my father-in-law apologized to me. "I don't know what's gotten into that boy, really. Luna, I'm truly sorry. We've caused you a lot of trouble. Considering Nora's divorce due to her affair, and now she's having an affair with Luke. What on earth is she thinking? Dave, you need to be firm with her. You're always too soft on Nora." I was relieved. Both sets of parents were reasonable people. I felt relieved that I had gathered the courage to come and talk. Both sets of parents were very angry about the terrible things our son and daughter had done, like having an affair. "We raised them as if they were family, but we never intended for them to have such an immoral relationship," my father-in-law exclaimed. Among the 5 of us, we discussed what to do with my husband and Nora, how to make them apologize and reflect on their actions. The operation was scheduled for the morning of my husband and Nora's departure to Guam, at Narita Airport. The day of the operation arrived. Both sets of parents had ambushed the 2 of them, who were about to board a direct flight from Narita Airport to Guam. Unaware of this, my husband and Nora, hand in hand, arrived at the check-in counter in the first terminal of Narita Airport, pulling their suitcases. They appeared to be in good mood and having a good time. When my husband and Nora stopped to check the counter's location on their smartphones, both sets of parents swiftly approached them. "Luke, what's going on here? Dad, why are you here? I'm the one asking the questions. I saw you and Nora walking hand in hand. Dad, it's Nora's birthday today, and I gave her a present of a trip to Guam." We're going to Guam now. The Guam trip is cancelled. Luke, we know you're having an affair with Nora. It's not like that. Who's feeding you this information? Is it Luna? Don't believe what Luna says. Enough of this. We've already completed the investigation. We know that you and Nora were having an affair. Come on, let's go home. We'll talk there. Dad, Mom, Uncle, Aunt, it's not what you think, really. Nora, be quiet. Your father is honestly appalled by your shameful actions. Are you really our daughter? My husband and Nora remained silent, looking down. They realized how serious the situation was. Let's go! Prompted by my father-in-law, my husband and Nora reluctantly followed and returned home in my father-in-law's van. Come on, both of you, get out, he said, and my husband and Nora got out of the van, entering the house reluctantly through the front door. I was waiting alone in the living room. When my husband noticed me, he said, "Luna." Without further words. He and Nora exchanged glances and then looked down awkwardly. I had hired a private investigator for an infidelity investigation, I said, with both sets of parents and Nora's parents now present. I explained the results of the infidelity investigation to my husband and Nora. Their affair had been ongoing since before my husband and I got married. It seems that the affair began around the time I started dating Luke, which is the same timing Nora married her ex-husband. Even after marrying me, my husband was seeing Nora behind my back. Luke, what were you thinking? If you wanted Nora, you should have just married her, I said. Nora was already married, so I thought marrying you would make a good balance, Luke replied. What do you mean by a good balance? I'm speechless. Did you marry me just for the sake of pride or some kind of maneuvering? I asked. Yeah, that's right. What's wrong with that? Luke responded. This was the true nature of my husband, the man I thought was thoughtful and understanding of others' feelings. Luke, do you even understand the meaning of what you're saying? You can't just be defiant. Well, I like Nora more than Luna, so there's nothing I can do about it, Luke replied. Why haven't you offered a single word of apology to Luna? You still call yourself a responsible adult? This is not kids' pretend game. What's the matter? I've made quite an effort even though I have no feelings for Luna, Luke retorted. You're such an idiot. Just stay quiet. It was indeed a distressing situation. I felt like crying. I regretted my lack of judgment, thinking, was I really married to someone like him, sharing my life with him? To make matters worse, according to the investigation results, my husband had been seeing several women whom he met on a dating app. When I disclosed this information, Nora became angry and confronted my husband, saying, Wait, what is this all about? However, according to the investigation results, Nora was also seeing another man whom became the cause of her divorce. Both my husband and Nora were equally to be blamed for. That's my line, Nora, said Ryan, Nora's former husband, who had been in another room. They had lived together until a month ago. Ryan hadn't initially been involved in the plan to punish my husband and Nora. Today is Nora's birthday. In the morning, Ryan had come to express his desire to start over with Nora and rebuild their relationship. Originally, their plan was to go on a trip for Nora's birthday, but because of divorce, he assumed she was going to spend her birthday alone. Ryan came to express his desire to start over with Nora and rebuild their relationship. Everyone makes mistakes, he thought. I was always focused on work and neglected Nora, so it's partially my fault that she turned to affair. With this in mind, he went to pick up Nora at her parents' house this morning, planning to go to Narita Airport with her. However, Nora's parents happened to encounter him at her parents' house as they were about to head to Narita Airport, and that's when he learned about the affair between my husband and Nora. Ryan turned out to be a very good person. Nora asked him, "Ryan, why are you here?" To which he replied, "I thought your affair was my fault because I was always busy with work and neglected you. I wanted to start over with you, but it seems your infidelity wasn't my fault. I've come to realize that this is who you really are. It's a shame." Nora insisted, "No, it's not like that, Ryan. Ryan, I don't have any feelings for Luke." Ryan responded, "Do as you please. I'm going back." Nora had a look of regret on her face, gazed up at the sky, let out a sigh, and then looked down. I had finished explaining everything about the investigation results, but it seemed my husband and Nora had no intention of apologizing to me. Instead, they looked at me with anger and frustration. The day came to an end, and my father-in-law promised to get in touch with me. Later, I officially divorced my husband. I had nowhere to live immediately after the divorce, and my father-in-law generously transferred me to a condominium as an apology for all the trouble. Furthermore, the mortgage payments would now be made by my husband, and I was also able to receive alimony due to his infidelity. Nora, too, had additional alimony claimed by her ex-husband, Ryan. I finally freed myself from the suspicions of my husband's infidelity that had been bothering me since the beginning of our marriage. Now, I have gained the peace and tranquility that I've been longing for. Once work settles down, I plan to take some paid leave and go to Guam with my parents.